So Ash, what's it like being here at E3 for the third time?
It's great. Before we've always done like episodes for game trailers for our show Hey Ash What You Playing, but this time I'm just doing interviews for the new Borderlands 2 DLC, so it's a totally different thing, but equally as fun.
Now, I'll get to Borderlands in a second, but I have to throw out to you that your show is amazing.
Thank you.
And so, like, where do you draw inspiration from that show? Because it's you and your brother, and it's hilarious.
Thank
If people who don't know about it, can you tell them a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Hey Ash What You Playing is a web series that we've been doing since like 2008. Wow, it's a long time. It's on GameTrailers.com. You can also see it on YouTube. But it's just the way that I generally describe it. It's like it's surreal game humor, sketch comedy, kind of. So I'm in it, and then my brother Anthony is in it, who wrote Borderlands 2, and our dad and his wife. So it's a whole family affair. And yeah, it's just fun. It's stupid jokes for like 90 seconds. And yeah, we've been doing it for a while, and people seem to like it. So that's good.
Now, how did Tiny Tina come to fruition, like into reality?
So Anthony was writing Tiny Tina based mostly on our friend Christina, who is insane in the best way, in the Tiny Tina way, and a little bit of like Ash from Hey Ash What You Playing. And he realized, like, as he was writing it, he's like, oh, I'm melding these things, and Ash would probably be good for this. So he had me submit an audition, but it was a blind process, so I just submitted, and they didn't know it was me, and I ended up getting picked, which was great.
Where did you draw inspiration from doing the voice? Did you pull it from your friend, or did you pull it out of your noggin?
Noggin, always up here. No, I don't know. I generally, because she's a young girl, but she's a very unconventional young girl. So I toyed with some voices that kind of started at like a sort of a standard, more generic young girl voice, and then decided that no, she needed to have a little bit more spunk to her. So I sort of fiddled with some different voices until I found something that seemed more like her.
She's one of the most popular characters in Borderlands, but people don't really realize that she also has a very, very dark, serious past. And if they play through the game, you see that past. What do you think about her past in general as you created the character?
Yeah, I mean, and you'll see this a little bit more in the new DLC. On the surface, she's just crazy and like pop culture references and just frenetic and energetic. But yeah, she does have a very dark past, and like her personality is actually informed by that. It's kind of like a coping mechanism, as you'll see in the new DLC. Some main characters died in the main game of Borderlands 2, and this D&D campaign that she's DMing is actually like a way of her to deal with the fact that one character in particular died, and she's sort of been denying it the entire time, and so it's like a healing process for her, which is weird because when you see the gameplay and you know Borderlands 2, it's just crazy and nonsense, but she has this sort of layer underneath her that she suppresses emotions or, deals with them by being just insane. And you kind of see that break down a little bit in the new DLC, and you see like a lot of her craziness comes from her actually just being sort of tormented in a way. Not to make Tina sound like a total bummer, because she genuinely enjoys the things that she does, but it comes from from that place of like, oh, my parents got murdered once. Remember that time? Yeah.
Now, so how much, I gotta know, because while playing Borderlands 2, she seems very sporadic. That's just your character. How much was improv and how much was actually following a script?
Yeah, so Anthony was actually fine with me improving, but honestly, like, I generally like to stick with what's written, just because some people prefer for you to be entirely faithful to the script. Some people let you riff, and I can say this because he's not here to be like, shut up, but the script was great on its own, and I didn't really feel like I had to do anything to like make it better because it was already great. But there was a lot of like collaboration in terms of, especially in the new DLC, like finding the right voice for Tina, because like in the main game you get like this little nice bite-sized chunk of her, and so she can be as crazy as we wanted her to be. But in the new DLC, it's 10 hours where she's narrating the entire thing, so it could get kind of like exhausting, potentially, just frenetic energy for 10 hours. So Anthony and I worked on kind of finding a place where she could be Tina, but not so Tina that she got exhausting. So we're collaborative in that way, definitely, and whenever there's a rap or a song that I sing, Anthony was pretty much just like, I imagine you singing or rapping here, so do it. And so I would just do it, and he's like, good. And that's pretty much how that went.
So you're up and coming super quickly. What other great things can we expect from you in the future?
Unfortunately, voice acting wise, I can't talk about anything. But I know. But there is stuff coming out. But yeah, I can talk about some web series stuff that I'm doing. I was in a Game of Thrones parody recently called School of Thrones. That some more episodes are coming out, which is great. I'm in a new web series with the great channel called Awesomeness TV, and a board game comedy web series called Board with Life. That some of my friends are making. So that's stuff. Oh, and I was recently in Awesome Knots. I'm a playable character in Awesome Knots now named Isla, she's also a crazy little girl, but in a different way than Tiny Tina.